The San Diego Padres are at it once again. Less than 24 hours after trading for Blake Snell, the Padres have acquired Yu Darvish from the Cubs, and it was inevitable, I think, that the Padres are going to go after a second ace pitcher in this offseason, whether it was Yu Darvish or even Trevor Bauer. I think it was just inevitable because the Padres, we saw them make moves at the trade deadline just this past season, making more moves than anybody else in the major leagues. And just look at what the Padres have on their roster. Fernando Tatis Jr., one of the rising stars in Major League Baseball. You've got Manny Machado for the next decade. You've got Eric Hosmer, Will Myers. Eric Hosmer with World Series experience. Will Myers, who had a very good season last year. And you acquired Blake Snell last night. And now this evening you acquire Yu Darvish. Now the Padres have gotten two ace pitchers in the past 24 hours. So it's clear the Padres are going all in, not only for the NL West, but for the National League pennant, and hopefully making a run to the World Series. As the Padres, they're becoming an underdog team that a lot of people can get behind. I mean, I can get behind the Padres winning a World Series at some point in the next 5 years. With the way they're building right now, I definitely think that we could see the Padres hoisting a World Series trophy within the next 5 seasons. Because despite Mike Clevinger having to miss the 2021 season, I still think this Padres team is talented enough to get to the playoffs. With Snell and Darvish leading that pitching rotation, I expect the Padres to at least get to the playoffs, at the very least, the wild card round. I don't think that they're going to necessarily win the World Series this year, but I think they can within the next 5 seasons. Because the Dodgers still the favorites to win the World Series this year, as I mentioned last night. As I also mentioned last night, the National League, I think, is a 3-team race between the Dodgers, Braves, and Padres. And that is still what it's looking like. I think that it's guaranteed that one of those 3 teams will win the NL in 2021. But so far, I still think that the Padres, I think they're still in 3rd place in that race to win the NL pennant. I still think it's Dodgers 1, Braves 2. But the Padres, they are slowly catching up. And if they make another move at some point in this offseason, like if they were to sign, I don't know, I don't think Trevor Bauer is out of the question. Despite having Snell and Darvish now, I wouldn't be surprised if they at least made a call to Bauer. I don't think it's out of the question whatsoever. So if they can get Trevor Bauer too, I think the Padres, they might have the pitching staff to pull them into 2nd place in that race for the National League pennant. While Yu Darvish, he has had his positive moments and his negative moments. Although one of the more negative moments that we tend to remember was Game 7 of the World Series against the Astros. Ultimately, now we found out that the Astros cheated by stealing signs. But I still think Yu Darvish, I think that he is still one of the better pitchers in the major leagues. Maybe not top 10, but I still think he's in that kind of maybe 2nd tier of great pitchers in the league. I don't think he's in the same tier as DeGrom or Scherzer or Verlander or Garrett Cole or even Trevor Bauer. But kind of like Snell, I think they're kind of in that kind of 2nd tier. Maybe in the range of probably maybe about 7 to 15. Because I still think Snell and Darvish, they're 2 of the best top 15 pitchers in this league. And I think with adding Darvish, Padres, they're still in 3rd place for the National League. But I still think that there's still a lot of time left in this offseason for them to make some more moves. As we know, the Padres, they are no strangers to making a ton of moves in one offseason or in one trade deadline period.